Welcome to another quick stitch tutorial with Burnley and Trowbridge. I'm Melissa, and today we are going to learn how to do a faggoting stitch. In the 18th century, we're not exactly sure what this stitch was called, but we do know that in later periods it was referred to as a faggoting stitch. This stitch is used to produce an openwork connection between two components or pieces of a garment. In the 18th century, the faggoting stitch is popular to use on mitts, both on the side seam and for the S-shaped opening that you frequently see on silk and linen mitts at the inside of the wrist. The use of this stitch on mitts gives a little more elasticity so that you can get a very fitted mitt, which is still easy to put on and take off. It's also very popular in the mid 19th to early 20th century on women's undergarments and loungewear. To prep your fabric for using this stitch, you want to hem your fabric, whether it's a single or a double layer. Generally, when this technique is used on 18th century mitts, you see that the thread is double what is used for the embroidery embellishments on the mitts because it is a higher stress point rather than just a purely decorative stitch. For today's tutorial, I'm going to use a double strand of our silk quilter's twist because I did the embroidery on my mitts with a single strand. When doing this stitch, I like to work from my non-dominant hand towards my dominant hand. If you prefer to work your stitch the opposite direction, that's perfectly fine. I don't know that there's a right or wrong way to do it. After you've prepped your garment edges by hemming them, you can then, if you want to, baste your garment or your garment opening to a piece of paper or fabric to keep it from moving while you're stitching. You don't want the stitches pulled too tight to where they're pulling the pieces of fabric together, but you also don't want them so loose that they aren't going to do their job. To begin, we will anchor our thread to the wrong side of the fabric. Once we have our thread anchored on the back, we need to bring it to the front of the fabric. I like to start my stitching at the side of the fabric that is closest to me. I take my next stitch on the opposite side of the opening and go down through the fabric like a stab stitch, but bring it back to the right side through the slit in the fabric. I want my thread that is attached to the needle to be on the opposite side of the direction that I'm working. And then I come back down to the side closer to me. Again, bring the needle back up through the slit so that when you make your next stitch, the thread crosses over the previous stitch. Try to make sure that your tension remains consistent as well as the spacing of your stitches. If you're having problems with your stitch spacing, you can use tiger tape, which is a wonderful quilting invention that has little marks on it to help you space your stitches nicely. If you have basted your garment to a piece of paper or fabric, you can make marks on that to help with your spacing, or you can mark directly on your fabric if it's going to either go away or be completely covered by your embroidery stitches. Thank you for joining us for the Faggoting Stitch Quick Stitch tutorial. We hope that you have learned something and that you will follow, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and tag us in your makes on YouTube and Instagram. For Burnley and Trowbridge, this is Melissa saying thank you for joining us today and just keep stitching.